Did you know? The mosquito shown in Jurassic Park's cloning explanation sequence is one of the few species of mosquito that doesn't actually suck blood. The preserved insect belongs to a species called Toxorhinchides rudilus. It probably fed on plant matter like sap, fruit, and nectar, explaining how it got entombed in amber in the first place. Even if the mosquito was part of a species that consumed blood, this particular mosquito wouldn't have. That's because this one is male, and only female mosquitoes suck blood. The sex of mosquitoes and DNA extraction would be the least of the park's problems, however, as DNA is only readable for a maximum of 1.5 million years. The oldest DNA on record is up to 800,000 years old, found in ice from Greenland, and the last of the dinosaurs died out around 66 million years ago. At the time of Jurassic Park's production, however, writer Michael Crichton's idea of extracting dino DNA from insects hadn't been discredited. It even had support from the scientific community, and was easily the most rational method of resurrecting prehistoric creatures. The allure of a reasonable explanation sparked Spielberg's imagination and gave him the confidence he needed to bring dinosaurs to life on the big screen.
What do they got in there, King Kong?
Spielberg remembered how impacted he was by seeing Universal Studios' now closed Kongfrontation tour. Because of the believability of the ride's massive King Kong models, he originally wanted to construct all of Jurassic Park's dinosaurs as life-size animatronics. It quickly became apparent that creating dozens of full-size moving models would be too expensive, so Spielberg assembled an expert team of effects artists to make dinosaurs using various methods. Stan Winston and his studio would design the look of the dinosaurs and create a few life-size animatronics. Phil Tippett was set to make stop-motion miniature dinosaurs. These miniatures would be embedded into the film using post-production by Dennis Murin and Industrial Light and Magic. And Michael Lantieri would manage the technical usage of dinosaurs on set with the actors. To bring a level of authenticity to the project, award-winning paleontologist Jack Horner was consulted to make Jurassic Park's attractions as scientifically accurate as possible. Horner is known as somewhat of a maverick in the scientific community and was actually the inspiration for the character Dr. Alan Grant. Spielberg storyboarded every scene in Jurassic Park using a small camera, models, and toys. He gave some storyboards to Phil Tippett, who recreated them as stop-motion animatics. Spielberg was so impressed, he asked Tippett to adapt every dinosaur scene into stop motion. One of these early animatics depicted the raptors with lizard-like tongues, which sparked a harsh reaction from Jack Horner, reportedly saying, "Whose stupid idea was that?" Horner's goal was to make sure Spielberg's dinosaurs were held to modern scientific standards as being bird-like and lively, rather than slow and reptilian. The raptors did deviate from scientific standards, however. The species of raptor in the movie is referred to as velociraptor. Actual velociraptors were about the size of a turkey and appropriately covered in feathers. In Jurassic's defense, fossil evidence didn't show that the majority of theropod dinosaurs were feathered until a few years after the movie was released. Though, that doesn't excuse the difference in size. Coincidentally, remains of a large raptor species were found elsewhere during production of Jurassic Park. Utah raptor was estimated to be about 7 feet tall, not much larger than the man-sized raptors in the movie. Stan Winston jokingly said, "We made it, and then they discovered it." The movie had other inaccuracies and fabrications, such as the Dilophosaurus that attacks Dennis Nedry. There's no evidence at all suggesting the animal spat venom or even had a frill. Dilophosaurus was depicted much smaller than its prehistoric counterpart. This was apparently to make sure audiences didn't confuse it with the raptors, even though a fully grown Dilophosaurus could grow to be 23 feet long. The on-screen raptors truly were man-sized, and even had men in them. Most dinosaurs were animated through segmented puppetry and robotics, but these methods were limited, and full-body, mobile raptors were necessary for certain parts of the film. Raptor suits were made by sculpting a full-sized clay model, and then taking molds of the model and wrapping them around frames for the actors to wear. This same molding method was used to make all the puppets and animatronics, even the big ones. Jurassic Park's T-Rex was painstakingly sculpted over a period of 16 weeks. It was so big, the studio roof had to be raised so they could construct it. People from the theme park industry were brought in to work on the T-Rex's hydraulic core. The final specifications of the Tyrannosaur animatronic had never been achieved in film, or even in the industrial trade. When representatives from a hydraulics company found out what Winston wanted the dinosaur to be capable of, they said his studio was insane. Mechanical designer Evan Brainard said, "I knew we were on the right track when those guys said we were crazy." The final model could move 90 inches per second at the tip of the nose, and some of the structure's hydraulic valves could push 60 gallons of fluid per minute. According to Winston's studio, the full animatronic weighed 9,000 pounds, about half as much as a real T-Rex, and the hydraulics were designed to handle a specific weight. This became a problem during production when Spielberg made a last-minute change to the T-Rex encounter, deciding it would look better in the rain. Winston told the director their model wasn't built to work in the rain, and that the dinosaur soaking up the water and getting heavy could be disastrous. Spielberg went ahead with the change anyway. The excess weight caused the T-Rex to shudder uncontrollably, forcing Winston's team to desperately try to dry it off with rags. The scene ended up being fairly different from its stop-motion animatic, such as Ian Malcolm originally deserting the kids instead of saving them with a distraction. One obvious difference was the inclusion of CGI. Dinosaur long shots were originally going to use Phil Tippett's go-motion animation, but Dennis Muren convinced Spielberg to use CGI instead. Muren developed prototype footage of Gallimimus skeletons running through a field in Hawaii. Spielberg was in awe at the quality of the animation and asked for a test shot of a fleshed-out dinosaur. This resulted in a sequence where a tyrannosaur hunts down a herd of Gallimimus, similar to the shot in the final film. Spielberg broke the news to Phil Tippett and showed him the footage of the T-Rex hunting. Tippett took one look at the footage and said, "I think I'm extinct." The director liked Tippett's response so much that he actually used it in the film.
We're out of a job.
Don't you mean extinct?
Phil Tippett's traditional animation skills didn't go to waste, however. The team developed the Dinosaur Input Device, or DID, which had computer-generated dinosaurs wired to a physical miniature skeleton. Tippett could move the skeleton into position and create stop-motion frames. These frames would then be sent to Industrial Light and Magic and be smoothed out and rendered for use in the film.
Oh, there it is.
Hey, make sure you subscribe for more facts and trivia. But before you go, we'd like you to vote on which franchise you want to see covered in the future, Terminator or Alien. Click on the annotations or comment below to vote. And if you like the sound of my voice and also people being funny over video games, then go check out Game Grumps. We got all kinds of great videos. Thanks for watching, and until next time, did you know movie?